and welcome here. I am glad we have this time together. Have you ever felt a profound weariness settle into your bones? Not the kind that comes from a long day's work, but a deeper exhaustion. The kind that stems from the endless effort of managing the world, of navigating the expectations of others, of trying to hold together the fragile pieces of your peace. It is the silent weight of carrying reactions that are not truly yours, of speaking words. If you feel this, know that you are not alone. This feeling is a quiet invitation, a gentle knock on the door of your inner self, asking you to come home. It is a call to discover a different way of being, a way of quiet strength, of unshakable peace, a way of maturity that has nothing to do with age and everything to do with the stillness you cultivate within. Today we will walk a path together, exploring. These are not flaws to be fixed, but rather old coats that no longer fit, habits of the heart that you are now ready to outgrow. This is the journey of true maturity, and it begins with a simple, profound choice, the choice to be still. The first emotion a truly mature person learns to let go of is the impulse to complain. Complaint is the rain that falls on a sea that is already vast. It adds nothing but more of the same. To complain is to stand at the window of your life, pointing at the storm, instead of tending to the fire within your own home. It is an act of surrendering your creative power to the circumstances you describe. You believe you are describing a reality, but you are actually casting a spell. With every word of complaint, you deepen the groove of victimhood in your own soul. You are not just talking about the problem, you are watering its root. You are teaching your mind to search for what is wrong, to scan the horizon for clouds, even on a sunlit day. A mature soul understands that the world is not happening to them, but through them. Your experience is a reflection of your inner state. To change the reflection, you do not argue with the mirror. You change the self that is being reflected. This is the beginning of true agency. This is where your power lies. It is a sign that your expectation and reality are not aligned. The immature response is to demand that reality bend to your will. The mature response is to quietly ask yourself, what is this friction teaching me? What am I being invited to accept? Where can I find my peace right now, within this moment, exactly as it is? Acceptance is not resignation. It is not defeat. It is the highest form of intention. From this clear seeing, you can then act with intention, not with reaction. You can choose your next step from a place of peace, not from a place of protest. Your energy is a sacred currency. Do not spend it on the transaction of complaint. Complaint buys you sympathy, perhaps, but it costs you your strength. It connects you to others through shared negativity, a fragile bond that is easily broken. Instead, seek to connect. These are the bonds that endure. Observe the world. See the imperfections, the challenges, the injustices. See them clearly. But do not let your inner state become a mirror of the world's chaos. Let your inner state be the lighthouse. A lighthouse does not complain about the storm. It does not rail against the waves. It simply stands anchored and bright, offering a way through the darkness. Your peace is your anchor, your light. Let the words dissolve before they are spoken. Feel the urge, acknowledge it as an old habit, and then gently, deliberately choose a different path. Choose silence, choose a deep breath. Choose to look for the one small thing in this moment that you can be grateful for. Gratitude is the antidote to complaint. It is not about ignoring the difficulties. It is about shifting your focus. It is about recognizing that even in the midst of a storm, your heart is still beating. These are not small things. They are everything. When you stop complaining, you begin to hear the quieter wisdom of your own soul. You start to notice the solutions that were always there, hidden beneath the noise of your grievances. You begin to see the strength you possess, the resilience that has carried you this far. You stop looking for someone to blame, and you start becoming someone who is responsible. Responsible not for the complaining is like spending all your time counting the weeds. It does not remove them. It only gives them your attention, your focus, your life force. The mature gardener knows that the best way to deal with weeds is to cultivate the flowers. Nurture what you want to grow. Give your attention to the soil, the water, the sunlight. As the flowers flourish, they will naturally crowd out the weeds. Your joy, your peace, listen with compassion. Hold space for them, but do not join them in the rain. Offer them the warmth of your fire, the shelter of your peace. Do not mistake empathy for entanglement. You can understand their pain without having to make it your own. Your silence in the face of another's complaint is not judgment. It is an offering. It is a quiet demonstration that another way is possible. You are holding a space of stability for them. If these thoughts resonate with you, if you feel a sense of peace in letting go of this burden, perhaps take a moment to like this video as a quiet affirmation of your own journey toward inner stillness. It helps this message find others who may be seeking it. Letting go of complaint is a practice. It is a daily, moment-by-moment choice. Some days will be easier than others. Be gentle with yourself. When you catch yourself complaining, do not addle. Each time you do this, you are strengthening a new neural pathway. You are carving a new riverbed for your thoughts to flow through. A riverbed of peace. Your words have creative power. They are the brushstrokes with which you paint the canvas of your life. Choose your colors wisely. Do not paint with the grays and browns of grievance. Paint with the vibrant colors of gratitude, the soft hues of acceptance, the brilliant light of possibility. Free yourself from the need to narrate every discomfort. Not everything you feel needs to be spoken. Some feelings are just weather patterns passing through the vast sky of your awareness. You are the sky, not the clouds. The clouds of frustration, annoyance, and disappointment will come and go. If you do not attach to them with the story of complaint, they will drift by, leaving the clear blue of your true nature untouched. It is a declaration of your inner sovereignty. It is you saying to the universe, "My peace is not for sale. It is not contingent on my circumstances. It is the very ground of my being, and from this ground I will live my life." This is the first pillar of maturity, the quiet refusal to be a victim of your own life story, the conscious decision to become its author. The second emotion a truly mature person. To explain is to seek understanding. To over-explain is to seek validation. It is a subtle but profound difference. It is the difference between offering a map and begging someone to approve of your destination. Over-explaining comes from a place of insecurity, from a deep-seated belief that your choices, your feelings, your very existence are not valid until they are ratified by another. It is that you are presenting evidence, calling witnesses, making your case, all in the hope that the judge, the other person, will deliver a verdict of approved or acceptable. But a mature soul understands that they are not on trial. Life is not a courtroom, and the only verdict that truly matters is your own. Your truth does not become more true when someone else agrees with it. Your no does not require a lengthy your yes does not need a committee's approval to be authentic. They are complete, whole, and powerful on their own. They are expressions of your inner authority, when you feel the frantic need to assemble a list of reasons for your decisions. Pause, breathe. Ask yourself, who am I trying to convince, and why do I believe their approval is necessary? More often than not, the person you are truly trying to the external validation you seek is a substitute for the internal certainty you have not yet cultivated. Trust yourself. Trust the quiet, intuitive knowing that guides you. It may not be logical. It may not be easy to put into words. That does not make it any less real. The deepest wisdom rarely speaks in paragraphs. It speaks in whispers, in feelings, in a simple, unshakable sense of those who are meant to be in your life will understand you, not because of the length of your explanations, but because of the clarity of your energy. They will resonate with your why without needing to hear it, and those who demand a dissertation for every decision you make are perhaps not walking the same path as you. And that is okay. You do not need to convert them. You only need to be true to yourself. Let your actions be your explanation. They are in alignment with their nature. Find your nature and align with it. The need to explain will fall away like autumn leaves. This is not about being cold or secretive. It is about being concise and self-assured. It is about valuing your own inner counsel above the noise of external opinions. You can be kind, you can be respectful, and you can still hold your ground without a 5-point presentation. Consider the energy you expend in crafting these explanations. It is creative energy that could be used to build the very life you are trying to justify. You are pouring your precious life force into convincing others when you could be pouring it into your work, your art, your relationships, your own well-being. Reclaim that energy. When someone questions your choice and you feel that familiar pull to launch into a defense, take a breath, smile, and say, you are honoring yourself. You are holding a boundary. You are demonstrating that you are the ultimate authority in your own life. People are entitled to their opinions. but you are not obligated to manage them. You are not responsible for making them comfortable with your choices. Your only responsibility is to make choices that are in alignment with your soul's integrity. Their comfort is their own work. Your integrity is yours. We are conditioned to seek consensus, to build bridges of agreement. But true connection is not built on agreement. It is built on respect. The respect to allow another person to be who they are, and the self-respect to be who you are, without apology or excessive justification. When you stop over-explaining, you create space. You create space for others to either meet you in that place of quiet confidence or to walk away. If this message of self-trust speaks to you, consider subscribing to this channel. We are building a community here dedicated to this quiet path of inner growth and self-reclamation. It is a gentle way of saying yes to your own journey. Think of the great mountains. They do not send out press releases explaining their majesty. They do not apologize for the space they take up. They simply stand rooted in the earth, reaching for the sky. This is especially true for your feelings. You do not need to explain why you feel a certain way. I feel sad is a complete sentence. I feel joyful requires no footnote. Your emotions are valid simply because you are experiencing them. They are your internal guidance system. To subject them to a trial by jury is to dishonor their wisdom. When you stop trying to make others understand, you begin to understand you are experiencing it raw, pure, and unfiltered. This is where true self-knowledge begins. In the quiet, unnarrated space of your own heart, let go of the need to be understood. It is a cage lined with velvet. It seems comfortable, but it restricts your movement. Embrace the freedom of being misunderstood. It is in that space that you are truly free to be yourself, to evolve, to change your mind, to be a living that is not only okay, it is necessary for your growth. Your life is your masterpiece. You do not stand beside your painting and explain every brushstroke to every passerby. You allow the work to speak for itself. Some will love it, some will hate it, some will be indifferent. None of it changes the intrinsic value of the work. You are the artist and the art. Stand by your creation with quiet dignity. This is the profound peace that comes from being your own source of validation. The third emotion a truly mature person learns to release is volatile anger. Anger in its pure form is simply energy. It is a signal. It points to a boundary that has been crossed, a value that has been violated, an injustice that has been perceived. In this, anger is not negative. It is information. It is but volatile anger, the explosive, reactive rage that consumes and destroys, is different. This is not the clean fire of a blacksmith's forge. It is the uncontrolled blaze of a forest fire. It does not create, it devastates. It burns you, and it burns those around you. It is a sign not of strength, but of profound powerlessness. Volatile anger is the outcry of it is a desperate attempt to impose your will on a reality that is not conforming to your desires. It is the tantrum of the inner child who has not been taught how to manage their big feelings. A truly mature person understands that their power does not lie in the force of their explosion, but in the steadfastness of their response. To release volatile anger is not to become passive. It is not to become a doormat. It is the opposite. It is to become so deeply rooted in your own power that the winds of circumstance can no longer knock you over. It is to reclaim the energy that you leak in outbursts, and to channel it with precision and wisdom. When you feel the heat of anger rising, the first and most powerful act of maturity is to pause. The space between the trigger and your reaction is where your freedom lies. In that sacred pause, you have a choice. The immature self collapses that space, reacting instantly, becoming a puppet to the trigger. The mature self expands that space, breathes into it, and chooses. Ask yourself in that pause, what is truly happening here? What is the story I am telling myself about this event? What boundary has been crossed? What do I need? The answers to these questions are obscured by the explosion of rage. They are only visible in the quiet. It is almost always a mask for something deeper: fear, hurt, grief. Shame, when you lash out, you are avoiding the vulnerability of feeling these primary emotions. It feels safer to be angry than to be hurt. It feels more powerful to be furious than to be afraid. But this is an illusion of power. True power lies in the courage to feel what is underneath, to sit with the hurt, to acknowledge the fear, and to tend to the... When you react with rage, you hand your power over to the person or situation that triggered you. You are saying, "You have the ability to control my inner state. You can make me lose my peace." A mature soul refuses to give this power away. They hold the keys to their own inner kingdom. No one can cause a storm there unless they allow it. This is a practice of emotional alchemy. It is learning to take the raw, hot energy of anger and instead of letting it explode outward, you learn to hold it, to feel its heat, and to ask it, "What do you want me to do? What needs to be protected? What needs to be said?" The answer might be to set a firm, clear boundary, spoken with calm authority. "I will not be spoken to in that way." This is infinitely more powerful than a shouted insult. The answer might be to walk away, to remove yourself from a toxic situation. This is anger transformed into purpose. Do not be afraid of your anger. Be respectful of its power. It is a wild horse. If you let it run wild, it will trample everything in its path. If you learn to gentle it, to understand it, to work with it, it can carry you with incredible speed and strength towards your goals. Other people's anger is not your responsibility. When someone directs their rage at you, understand that you are often just a screen upon which they are projecting. See it as a storm passing by. You can stand firmly like an ancient tree and let the wind and rain blow past you. You do not have to become the storm. To do this requires a deep well of inner peace. You must cultivate your inner garden so diligently that when the storms come, your roots are deep enough to hold you steady. This is done through daily practices, meditation, mindfulness, time in nature, silence. Letting go of volatile anger is an act of deep kindness to yourself and to others. You free yourself from the exhausting cycle of explosion and regret. You free yourself from the shame that often follows an outburst. You free those you love from the fear of walking on eggshells around you. You create a safe harbor for yourself and for them. Your home should be a place of peace, and your heart is your truest home. Do not let the fires of... When you master your anger, you become a force of nature. Not a hurricane, but the quiet, immense power of a river carving its way through rock. It is not done with a single violent blast, but with steady, persistent, focused flow. This is true strength. This is the power that changes the world, both inside and out. This is the third pillar of maturity, the alchemy of transforming the raw energy of anger into the unwavering commitment to being a harbor of peace in a turbulent world. So we have walked this path together, looking at these three great releases: letting go of complaint, letting go of over-explanation, and letting go of volatile anger. These are not separate practices. They are all interwoven, threads of the same beautiful tapestry of a mature and peaceful soul. When you stop complaining, you reclaim your creative power. When you stop over-explaining, you reclaim your inner authority. When you stop reacting with volatile anger, you reclaim your sovereign peace. All three are about coming home to yourself. They are about realizing that everything you have been seeking outside, validation, control, peace, is already within you, waiting to be cultivated. This is not a journey of perfection. It is a journey of perfection. It is in those moments. The practice is not self-judgment. The practice is gentle awareness. The practice is compassion. The practice is simply beginning again. Each time you choose the quiet response over the loud reaction, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are strengthening the part of you that is grounded, wise, and free. Maturity is not a destination you arrive at. It is the quality of how you walk. Find strength in the stillness that replaces the need for justification. Find a deep, unshakable power in the calm that replaces the chaos of anger. Your life will begin to transform, not because the world around you has changed, but because you have. Your relationships will deepen. People will be drawn to your calm presence. You will become a source of stability for others, not by trying to fix them, but simply by being. Your health will flourish as you release the corrosive stress of these emotional burdens. Most importantly, your relationship with yourself will heal. You will learn to trust yourself, to honor your own feelings, to be your own sanctuary. You will discover a quiet joy that is not dependent on external circumstances. It is the joy of being, the peace of a soul that has come home. This is the quiet power we have been speaking of. It is the freedom that is your birthright. Claim it. I hope these words have brought you a measure of peace, a moment of clarity. This is a space for that quiet reflection, for that gentle turning inward. Thank you for being here, For sharing this time, your presence is a gift. Until next time, be well and walk gently on your path.